What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw for TV. So, let me tell you something. One of the reasons why my channel gets shadow banned is because, not just because of the political stuff, because I had stopped talking politics, and they still shadow ban me. So I said, fuck it. Might as well just start talking politics again. It's deeper than that. Fox Sports doesn't like my platform. ESPN doesn't like my platform. The NBA doesn't like my platform. They've stopped both of my channels from growing at one point at ridiculous rates. At one point, I was growing about 1,000 subs every about a week and a half at one point on both platforms for a while, until they cut that out. Look, you guys are being lied to when it comes to a lot of these so-called facts that they put out. Shout out to the brother, Daryl Sloan. So he showed me a graphic that supposedly shows the most 20 rebound games in NBA history, right? And it has Dennis Rodman, number one, 158, followed by Andre Drummond with 88, Dwight Howard with 82, DeAndre Jordan with 60, and then Charles Barkley with 54. But what's under the caption, the most 20-plus rebound games in NBA history, is since the 82-83 NBA season. And it's interesting that they cut off right there. They cut off right there. Why is that? Well, because they don't want too many of these old fogies on these lists. So they want to promote the game as it is today. But all it takes is a little bit of research by you. All it took was 10 minutes of research by me to show that these aren't records. These are not the most 20 rebound games in NBA history by any players. Look. What's interesting is if you look at the career of Moses Malone, who played from 1974 to 95, right? He played 21 years. The first 2 years of his career, he played in the old ABA. And so that means from, 1976 to 95, he played in the NBA. What's interesting is if you were to go back one more year, to the 81-82 season, and since then, Moses would surpass Barkley. But they purposely cut him off there so that Moses isn't on this list. For instance, if you look at Moses' NBA career, his entire NBA career, he had 125 games of 20 rebounds or more. 125, right? Now, I didn't even go and bother to look at some other players like, because some of it from the 50s, the data isn't there. They weren't tracing it back then. They didn't start tracing this until the 60s. But even if you go into the 60s, you'll see that players like Bill Russell, Nate Thurman, Jerry Lucas, Elvin Hayes, probably Wes Unseld, far outpaced most, if not all, of these players on this list. You know who has the most 20 rebound games in the history of the NBA? Do you know who has the most 20 rebound games? Wilt Chamberlain. So why don't they say that? Because there is an active, as I keep trying to tell people and implore people, there is an active campaign to lessen the impact of the true GOAT of the NBA. You know how many 20 rebound games Will had? 722. 722 career regular season games of at least 20 rebounds or more. And then, of course, he had, of those, probably 200 plus 30 rebound games, 40 rebound games, and he's one of only two players to have a 50 rebound game, the all-time record, 55. Bill Russell had a 51 rebound game. It's just insulting that they don't have this man on this list. I really, truly believe that if Wilt Chamberlain was still alive and he was in great health and had a podcast, he would be just thoroughly debunking all of these fucking rules, all of these so-called records. It's bullshit, All you gotta do is use common sense. The man averaged 23 rebounds a game. Bill Russell averaged 22.5 rebounds per game. Bob Pettit averaged 16 rebounds per game. Nate Thurman averaged 15 points and 15 rebounds for his career. All it takes is common sense for you to kind of think, well, if those guys were averaging that, they had to have more than 100 career 20 rebound games, especially if they played 13, 14 years in the league. So these lists, Dennis Rodman, he's not the real leader. Maybe he's if you want to call it, the modern day leader, but he is not the leader at all. Dennis Rodman's 158 rebounds are impressive. They are, considering the length of time that he played and the amount of games he played. But Wilt Chamberlain got at least 20 rebounds in nearly 70% of the games he played. 7 out of 10 games, Wilt Chamberlain got at least 20 rebounds. A poor rebounding night for Wilt is like 13 rebounds. That was a poor rebounding night. So, no. These records that they keep telling you about, these records, they're not real records.